Hey, what's up guys, it's Chaotic Films here, and in this video we're going to be doing a review on the new Star Wars movie, The Last Jedi. And I'd just like to apologize about the background noise. If you hear a fan and all that, that's because I do have a fan on right now. It is summer here over in Australia, so I just figured I'd put it on, so you will probably be able to hear that in the background, so I do apologize about that. But anyway, let's just get straight into this review for The Last Jedi. This is something a little bit different. I usually just do videos on Call of Duty and talk about Call of Duty and all that kind of stuff, but in this video I figured I'd just do something a little bit different and actually talk about it is actually still like a Call of Duty gameplay, but I just figured I'd do a review on a movie. So anyway, I just want to preface this by saying that this is a good movie, and the reason why I'm saying this is because I do have a number of complaints about this movie. This is by no means a perfect movie. There are a number of problems with it, but I don't want you guys to get the idea that I don't like this movie. This is a good movie. I did enjoy it quite a lot, but it's by no means perfect. So anyway, let's just get straight into this review. First of all, the reason why I like this movie so much, and the reason why it is a good movie, is mostly because it just has that typical Star Wars-y feel, and that typical Star Wars lore that we've all come to love, okay? And for me, that's enough to make it a fun experience. It may not be enough to make it like a full-on, like, really good movie, but it's enough for me to actually be hooked in and gripped and, you know, actually enjoy the movie. However, there are a number of problems, and let's just get into those. First of all, there are a number of side plots in here, and there's one in particular with Finn and that girl. I cannot remember her name, but I wasn't a particularly big fan of her character. But that side plot thing I was not a huge fan of, and I feel like they didn't execute it very well. The reasoning for why they had that side plot just didn't really work for me. You know, I didn't like how it was done. It felt kind of forced to kind of shove a certain agenda, and that's not exactly something I'm a big fan of. I'm not going to get into what because I'm really trying to be careful with not spoiling stuff here, because with these new Star Wars movies, it seems that if you talk about the main plot, spoiler alert for The Force Awakens if you haven't seen it. If you haven't seen Force Awakens, you probably never will see it, and you probably don't even really care about it being spoiled. But in The Force Awakens, basically the one of the main things in the plot is that Luke Skywalker is missing, and that's like that's like the big thing in this. In The Force Awakens, and nobody knew about it before the movie came out. So it's like, to talk about the main plot, that itself is almost a spoiler, so I'm trying to be really careful about how I'm talking about this stuff. But anyway, that's irrelevant. Let's just get back into this review. So yeah, the boring side plots, was not a big fan of that. To get on to some of the positives, however, this movie has really good humor. Okay, this, out of all the Star Wars movies I've ever seen, this probably has the best humor I've seen out of all of them. I don't know why, I just really enjoy the humor in this. However, I have one big problem with the humor. It's used way too much. It's like every 5 minutes there's some, you know, one-liner or some joke, and it just gets to a certain point where you're like, okay, this is starting to feel a little bit forced. So very good humor, they just kind of use it a little bit too much. There is also quite a lot of wasted potential with the plot and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to say who or what actually happened, because obviously that would be a spoiler, but there are just a number of things in here where I'm like, oh, you could have just done that, and that would have been so much better. Again, not going to say what actually happened, because that would be a spoiler, but when you watch this movie, you'll probably see what I mean when I say that there's wasted potential. Now, there's one good thing I like about this movie, and first of all, that's that it's not an Empire ripoff. A lot of people were expecting this to be an Empire ripoff, and I feel like they did sort of take some elements from Empire Strikes Back, but by no means is it anywhere near as similar. Like, for example, everybody says that Force Awakens is just a ripoff of A New Hope. I don't think it's so much a ripoff, but there are very, you know, similar aspects to them, and I do see where people are coming from. And by no means this, like, it is not, this movie comparing to like Empire, it's nowhere near as comparable as comparing like The Force Awakens to A New Hope, if that makes sense. So this isn't much of an Empire ripoff. However, this is what I feel like they've tried to do. This feels like a Return of the Jedi ripoff, and I feel like they'll kind of, this probably isn't what happened, but there are, I swear I've seen a lot of elements of Return of the Jedi in this movie, okay, with the plot and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to say what it is again, obviously, because I'll be spoiling it, but there's elements of Empire in here, and what I feel like they were expecting is that people would just be like, is it a spoiler to say that this is similar to Return of the Jedi? It is in some aspects. Don't go in thinking that, you know, this is going to happen and that's going to happen, because it's not so much the plot or could be the plot, who knows. But anyway, I'm trying really hard to be careful here. I'm not a movie reviewer, so I do apologize if I'm being too careful or I'm not careful enough. But anyway, it feels like a Return of the Jedi ripoff, and I feel like they thought we wouldn't notice because this is a second one, not the third one. So yeah. So I think I'll just kind of get straight into, you know, my final rating for this movie, and that would be an 8 out of 10. An 8 out of 10, I mean, this is a good movie. I mean, an 8 out of 10, I'd say, is actually a great rating. So this is, you know, quite a great movie. I did enjoy this movie, but it has a number of problems, okay? Wasted potential, boring side plots, a little bit too much humor and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, guys, that is my review for The Last Jedi. If you've seen The Last Jedi, tell me what you think about it. Tell me if you agreed with my review, and also tell me how good I am at all this reviewing stuff. This is, I don't do this very often, so if I did a bad job, if I did a good job, just tell me what you think. So anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and bye.